Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast reviews edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me is my bestest best friend, CHUBAX. Hello again, CHUBAX.
Hello, I'm CHUBAX and welcome to another review.
And in this episode, we are discussing our series of the week, Paper Girls from Amazon Prime Video, uh, TV adaptation of a beloved graphic novel. Before that, a little bit of housekeeping. If this is your first time in our channel, thank you very much for the view. Welcome. Bring your friends, bring your family. You can find us at youtube.com slash plus 63HP. We'd love for you to hit that like button, comment in any of our episodes, but most importantly, subscribe. It helps us with the algorithms. If you want to interact with us, we are on all the major social platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search plus 63HP. Our handle is at plus 63HP. We will reply to every single comment that you have to any of us in the crew. And if you don't want to watch us video on demand, if you don't want to see these faces, we don't blame you. You can put us in the background. Um, Pop in your phone, open your favorite podcasting app. Our favorite podcasting apps are Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. Search plus 63 HP, and we are there. We have multiple shows dropping across the week. Mondays and Tuesdays are a review show. On Wednesdays, we have our first D&D campaign where we have we record our first adventure as best friends. We've never done this growing up, and we're doing it now. We are almost in year one. We are in year one, like it's coming up our first year anniversary of our campaign. So that drops on Wednesdays. Thursdays we have a react show where we curate clips, featurettes, trailers, short videos of future content. We assess how hyped we are about this content, and hopefully we can inform you on things that you'd want to watch out coming down the pipe. On Fridays, we have a D&D campaign too. Just CHUBAX and RJ, two of the Bertrand shows, doing another D&D campaign. They just can't have enough of it. So they spun off a second campaign that drops every Friday. So Mondays through Fridays, most weeks, you'll have fresh content to listen to us, listen with us, interact, and join all of our discussions. So again, housekeeping done. We now go to our series of the week. Every so often, we have a good drop of a series. We'll watch it, and then as we finish the series, we'll discuss it. Sometimes, much like the She-Hulk and some Marvel series that drops week on week, we'll do mid-season reviews and then end the season review. But for this one, it's a full drop. Paper Girls on Amazon. Before we get into the spoiler territory and going into every beat of all 8 episodes, we always want to start with a non-spoilery description of the show and our reactions to the show. So in case that you get enthused by our enthusiasm, maybe you'd watch the series as well, pause the podcast, come back and join us with the discussion. So with that, CHUBAX, instant reactions about Amazon Prime Video's Paper Girls.
I found it a little slow at the start. I needed to push a little bit, but by the end I did like it, and I think they started hitting the potential on the back half, and I'm excited for season 2. But it was hard a little bit at the start.
I think that's the case with this particular show is it starts in the 1980s. There are tweens and bikes, and we kind of immediately associate it with another franchise that also starts in the 80s with kids and bikes as well.
I didn't even do that. Yeah. I'm just thinking it's just popping up now.
Yeah, so for me, it's like you're right. Although I am very happy with the production quality of this show, like they used everything to the utmost, particularly because they're hopping in different decades, right, with different characters. And nostalgia hits different when you have Stranger Things on the other side of the road. So yeah, you're right. Like it was slow for me as well, but as soon as I was coming in here, I haven't read Paper Girls, or I've seen Paper Girls a little bit, but I haven't read through the entire series.
Mm.
Um, the having seen the first episode or going into the first episode, I thought this was super duper sci-fi. So it was a little bit more in the realm of, yeah, Stranger Things is kind of like suspense horror, sci-fi,
Mm.
thriller, supernatural kind of stuff. So I thought my brain was a little bit more aligned there. But maybe late or mid to late first episode when it's no longer about the time travel stuff and it's more about being like talking about a chance to talk with your future self or your future self talking about your past self, your dreams and whatnot. Then it became even like I really, really loved this series. I really, really love this series. And I loved it even more when I started reading the
Mm.
comics the past couple of weeks and then saw what they took out, what they sacrificed from the comics. Because in the comics, it's just like fucking dinosaurs and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
robots and like and
Really out there.
invisible mechs. It was so like when I heard like from you and my other friends who read Paper Girls when they said like Amazon was doing a TV adaptation, so like how are they going to do the dinosaurs and mechs? It's like it was fine in the series, but I realized like there was like much, much, much more in the comic. So I kind of like, oh, those were really good decisions that they did, like
Yeah.
moving some stuff around, changing some stuff around to make it make sense on the small screen. I even appreciate it more. So I really like it. It's mostly it's more like self actualization. It's more of like thinking about your past and your future, thinking about your dreams and hopes and what you have to sacrifice to
Mm.
survive. It's much more of a character driven series than what I initially thought that it was going to
Yeah.
be more
I think that's
sci-fi.
what
So
jarred me
that's
too.
yeah. And with that, yeah, I still really really like it. So that's kind of like our instant reaction. We'll jump into a quick synopsis of the 8 episodes, and
I'll
we'll
try to
go
be
through a deep dive
fast
of the
here.
season.
Yeah, so basically this story starts in November 1st, 1988. Erin, one of the four paper girls, starting her first day as a paper girl, and she meets Mac, KJ, and Tiffany. So those are our four main protagonists: Erin, Mac, KJ, Tiffany. And it's the first time all of them are meeting each other. Uh, and they kind of helped each other because one of them was being bullied and the others helped out. And by some happenstance, they just meet some other random people that bring them to the future. They meet somebody. They still don't know why they kidnapped Erin, right? They just pulled her, got the
Yeah, I think there's
radio.
just like
Oh, the
yeah,
radio. I think they were getting the
uh,
radio.
yeah. They were
And
trying
then
to because the radio. Oh yeah, in the future it kind of works.
so they got the radio from Erin, and then the four of them thought it was just another pair of bullies, but they were actually people from the future fighting in a time war. So the four of them go after those two, and then it happens. Shooting starts, and Erin gets shot by accident, and they find the two people from the future again, or the STF, Standard Time,
Force
Force, Standard Time, something.
timeline force, right?
And then they're actually accidentally brought to, was it 99? No, 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 not 99. 20
2009,
2000 something,
2019.
2019. So when they get there, they meet future Erin, and so they're just trying to get back. And there's a lot of, as Jong said, self actually, the old future Erin isn't what young Erin wanted to be. She thinks she's a loser or she gave up and stuff. And she wanted to be a senator or a president, with four kids by that age. And the future Erin, old Erin, is just at home alone with meds, fighting. I guess that maybe anxiety or depression, didn't really go into it that much, but and then she's also not talking to the sister that much. And anyways,
A lot has
they
changed.
yeah. So anyway, old Erin does try to help the kids. They find another no, another, what do you call Larry, like
Time like
not the mole. It's more like a contact, like
Yeah. And yeah,
an
operative.
STF operative in that timeline. And this is when the beats start getting cooler with finding they used a mech to go through a time wormhole to go back to
uh
88. But I think the problem was, did is it true that Larry did lie that they brought them to 99, or was that a mistake?
so I actually do not know.
We don't
I
know,
think
right?
that I think it was a mistake. I felt that Larry was earnest, or maybe the mech itself is just hardwired to go to that place.
So we don't know. I think he was more lying. So I don't know. I think maybe he was lying. So they, instead of going to 88, they pop out of 99. 2019, Larry gets destroyed by another mech from the old watch. So basically, there's two forces in the time war. It's the old watch, where there's like all old people or all adults, and then the STF, which are made up of like mostly teenagers, right?
Yeah.
And like the old watch wants to preserve the timeline, the main timeline, kind of like Loki, and the STF want to rewrite stuff that are bad. And then that's when the fighting begins. So when they arrived in the mech in 1999, four girls were able to escape. Old Aaron stayed and protected them using the mech in a pretty cool mech versus mech battle for a TV show, and even sacrificed herself, blew her up and the other mech. And so they were stuck now in 1999. So in 1999 we have other stuff happening. Oh, we did skip with Mac finding out in 2019 that she died at 16 because of brain cancer.
Lymphoma. Mhm.
Yeah, so she was able to meet her brother. They had this nice moment. The brother, who was like a bully before, is now really nice and an accomplished
I like
doctor.
that. It was you can telegraph it, right? You
Mm,
can telegraph it that like some of them will be worse than before, some of them will be like extremely better. But I kind of like telegraph that people, this dude living in a trailer, abusive dad, yada yada yada, changes his life. So at
mhm.
least like a concrete example where through pain you can
Can
find
lift
some
yourself up. Yeah, you
beauty.
can use your motivation.
Mhm.
So, and she was planning to stay, and he was going to try and help her. He was also gladly accepted her. I like that too. That it's like, yes, stay, a second chance. Maybe I can even cure you. But then the old watch operative Prioris, I think her name is
Prioris, yeah,
Prioris.
Prioris.
Yeah, who was hunting them.
Prioress.
Who was hunting them found the family, and KJ and Mac had to leave because they were putting them in danger, because they assumed that they were hunting them to kill, which was a good assumption at that time. So they go back to 99. KJ, they visit KJ's the 99 KJ found out that she finds herself that she's a lesbian. Yeah, and it fucks her up. And then they also go to 99 Tiff, who's pretty cool. I like 99 Tiff. But she's also not
DJ, light
yeah,
sculptor,
who left
MIT dropout.
MIT, yeah, but actually dropped. And um so she helps them, takes them in, uh and then they contact 99 Larry, who was just inducted in the STF for like 6 months, or was basically a rookie. And then they try and make a plan to go back to 88 again. And by the end, the old watch catches up. Larry sacrifices himself, but he still dies. And old 99 Tiff has her memory erased. And all of four of them were captured. And we realized that Prioris was hunting them not to kill them at all. They just wanted to fix the timeline and return them to their current time, and erase their memory so that the timeline's preserved. And we also realized that the one that KJ killed was Prioris' brother. And so in the end, they're captured. They're brought into the Old Watch castle or floating fortress, and they're supposed to be sent erased memory and then sent to their original timeline, 1988. But Prioris wants an end to the war, so she helps all four of them try to get in contact with I think future Tiff, because it appears that Tiffany Quelkin is one of
Mm.
them, is one a member of the team that invents time travel.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to, I guess, maybe if you can stop time travel altogether, then there will be no
There's no
war.
war.
Yeah. So, but fight happens, and they get split into two with Mac and KJ going. We don't know where, right? I assume they went to the right place, and
Yeah,
Aaron and Tiff get sent to, was it 77?
yeah,
70s, right?
70s,
Yeah,
70s. Yeah.
70s. And that's where we end season one. We got more sci-fi-ish in the end, in the better
Mhm.
half, and that's where kind of. I mean, I did like the self-actualization and the dreams and the past versus the future kind of arguments. What kind of threw me off was it's, but I accept that like this isn't a fault of the show. It's just me, my
Mhm.
point of view. Like, because I understand that all four of them are strangers to each other. They're not friends
Mhm.
at the start. So they're just all mean.
Oh, just yeah.
Yeah, they're
They're
also
mean to
mean
each
to
other. They're
everybody. They're just so angry, and I
mhm.
understand like they're not friends, but like they're all keeping secrets. Like when Mac knows that she's gonna die soon, she keeps it to herself. She doesn't want others to
Yeah.
know, but then she's lashing out. And then KJ finds out that her future self is a lesbian, and then she keeps it to herself, and then she lashes out. And then Erin also, like, something happens to her, and then she lashes out. So it's like, man, these girls are so angry, and
Yeah.
I know they're stressed. So I know that it might be more on my point of view. Maybe I'm more used or more conditioned by the typical adventuring group of friends that they're already working with each other, or maybe also I'm conditioned because if I myself find out something bad or a secret like that, even if I'm with them though, because whether they like it or not, after what happened in the first few days, they're already bonded in a sense.
Mhm.
I wouldn't keep it to myself, I'll just tell them, and I don't know, it's just natural to me. But they just kept it, and they just fighting, punching each other. Mac was like so mean to his brother and the daughter, or technically her niece, the older niece. Like, she was so mean, and she was just so dirty with the mouth. And I know that's who she is, and you know how it is. But it's like, damn, these girls are just so angry. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing with these like 80s nostalgia pieces is we see the difference in culture back then. Like even the first episode where like paper girls being abused by teenage boys, like
Mm-hmm.
preteen girls, like 12-year-old girls being abused by teenage boys. I understand that might happen, right? That I understand that it happened. Like I
Mm-hmm.
understand that that was probably the norm back in the day. It's just like a hard pill to swallow, particularly if you're it's a lot of angst,
Mm-hmm.
like and there's a little bit of like suspension of disbelief that 12-year-olds already know what they want to be in the future. So that's kind of like a major theme about the entire series. But yeah, it was a little bit heavy-handed on the bullying, a little bit of heavy-handed on the communication across the group. But again, that's right, they don't know each other yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the reason why they don't know whether they can talk about each other, talk to each other or not. And it also gives a little bit of the episodes, like each one had their own arc, like Aaron versus old Aaron, and then there's going to be um uh Mac and her brother, and then what's the name of the rich kid,
KJ.
KJ, and her future girlfriend, etc. So there's a few episodes that's kind of like dedicated to the development of each person. So they kind of, I think, purposely wanted to isolate them so they can run it by themselves and then eventually get together in the end. But I've also been reading the comics, and in the comics they were a little bit bitchy and angsty to each other too. So yeah, right. It's not an easy watch. That's kind of like, that's one of the few characteristics that limits me from really really be like over the moon about the story, because there are still certain things that are, you know, you want to drop multiple layers on it. It's not just the time war. It's not just about you meeting your future self. It's about your dreams, how your dreams are made of, how some dreams needs to be sacrificed, and even like the very very small things of, I did like how did they get money, right? How are they gonna feed themselves? They're 12-year-old kids
Mm-hmm.
out of their time with nothing and no one to support. So I like those little small adventures, exploring the sexuality, exploring health. But even like one of the most important things that I think the series shows to guys like us is that, imagine being a 12-year-old having your first period, and you have no money to get the pads, you have no one to talk to, you don't understand the 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 sanitary napkin itself, and when you read
Instructions.
the instructions, it is foreign, right? So it kind of becomes a testament on how robotic, not necessarily robotic, but like it's a testament on how these things for these people, they don't really look, they just want to sell a product and tell it's how it's used. They don't really look at who the audience is. Like, you're gonna need this anyways. Just stuffing it in vagina and that's it. Right. So those are all the things that they were talking about, like being poisoned if it's stuck there, and all those things that are not normally discussed in shows depicting 12-year-olds is fun, and combine that with it making sense because they're on the run, they're by themselves, they can't talk to other people. That's, because usually what happens is like, talk to somebody, talk
Mm-hmm.
to the police, talk to your old selves, and they tried and it failed. So I like that kind of hodgepodge of small adventures in, again, comparatively with the graphic novels. This is really really scaled down, and
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. I really like the scaled down
No,
version of
for
this
me, I
this
didn't.
story.
I like that scene with the tampon and at the period. Like, I like it when they're good to each other. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
really sweet moments when they're helping each other. It's just when they were so angry. It's just like Mac at Chili's, calling his brother like a pussy basically and stuff. Like, I mean, I know she's like that, but I don't know. It's just like, just again, I'm just so angry. But then again, I know knowing she's dying. So yeah, there. As I said, it's more on me than the show, from my point of view. Just having a hard time watching through all that anger, but I mean, it's still great. It's still good. I still liked it.
Well, having said that, what are your final thoughts about series, favorite things, and your rating?
Mhm. I love the cast. I like
Cast. Oh,
old Aaron.
old
Um,
Ali Wong,
Ali Wong. I loved old Tiff,
old
1999
Tiff.
Tiff. She was charming as hell,
Mhm.
like really charming. For the young girls, I like Mac, and then KJ was became one of the
KJ
favorites
is my
by the
favorite.
end. Tiff was is okay, but Aaron kind of became better at the end. Um, I likes that first scene with seeing the mech in the silo. Like,
In a silo.
it's like, this is a different show, bro. Like, it's not like your typical show. That was cool. I like the cast, grandfather, one of our favorite actors.
Oh,
What's that?
Jason
Yeah,
Matsukis.
there we go.
Fucking
So
best. Fucking
yeah,
best. I
I
love
liked
him.
him. I also like. I guess it's not a big twist, but I like that they were running from Prioris because they thought she was gonna kill her, and then they just wanted to go home, and that's what they were running from. Basically, is just their answer was what they were running from. So that was cool. So yeah, rating. I still had to push myself. I'll go with the 7 for now, but like a high 7. Like, I'm
Mhm.
excited for the second season 7.
Same with me. I'm a solid 7. Like this is it's a great show. Again, it's not one of those things that it's so good that you can watch it at any time. You have to be a little bit on the mood. You have to have a little
Agreed.
bit of understanding that this is going to be kind of like a sci-fi coming of age, womanhood, sisterhood kind of thing. So that kind of narrows down the or lowers the ceiling of the particular show. But again, the floor is so high. They casted well. Ali Wong was great. I love all the kids. Maybe like we're the opposite. Like Mac was my least favorite because again, I don't like the angst. Although she played the angst really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a lot of other reviews about it, and he is like her character is legitimately exactly like Edward Furlong in Terminator, right? The look, the haircut, the clothes. So that was their vibe. So that was
Uh,
great. It's a
yeah,
cool homage.
I see that. I see that now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically him.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, KJ is my favorite because I like her I like her internal struggle. I like just like if she's everybody thinks she's a rich kid and couldn't fend for himself, but she was fending for himself. Like her grandfather taught her to be like independent or
Mm-hmm.
um I like, her struggling with her sexuality, but also like the idea of like yeah, it's a good thought. Like honestly, when she was 12, she didn't even think about it. And then
Mm-hmm.
she got into 18 and she loves girls. So, it's the nature and nurture kind of thing. It's also like love is love. You found something that you love, which is film, and then you
Mm-hmm.
found somebody that loved it as well. And you got kind of developed the friendship. So I love all of those things. But again, like my favorite storyline has always been with young and old Erin about the justifications of like old Erin had a very, very strong storyline about, she thought that she was giving people, she was doing people a favor of not involving them with help, but in the end, it's actually depriving other people to do the things that they would want to do as well. So it's not just like she was being a martyr, and usually you associate positive things about being a martyr, but no, it actually being a
That's
martyr
just a bad
harms.
thing.
Yeah,
Not only
yeah, like you.
herself, but the sister.
Yeah, exactly. And then she like that's the reason too. Like you became a martyr and you thought that you were gonna get all the accolades, but in the opposite end, no, you just fucked up your life or made it hard for you, and then you deprive your sister of the last few moments that she might have had with her mom. So a lot of really, really powerful storylines. That's why I really like the show. And also again, I'm maybe one more volume left before I
Mm-hmm.
finish Paper Girls. It's a very different take from the graphic novel. So from the people that are big fans of the graphic novel, they can really watch the show and be thoroughly entertained because they change a lot of things to scale it down. And I really like this version. It's like a
Good
much more,
decisions.
yeah, it's a much more understandable, palatable, um, um, uh, uh, showcase of
Version.
the time war and the again, it's 12-year-old girls trying to traverse themselves through time with nothing and no one. So that's always a fun series. So yeah, that's my reading. Solid 7. How about say goodbye, Shucks?
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, I enjoyed it also. Read it long time ago. I haven't finished it. I'm still waiting. I like to collect those omnibuses or the like volume ones, and I think it's 4 volumes. But yeah, I hope it gets renewed and we get season 2. Amazon hasn't is Amazon known for canceling
uh
shit,
they're not known for cancellation, but they haven't announced a season 2
and they
yet.
take long
So
sometimes. Like we still
yeah,
don't know
take a
about
little bit.
Jack Reacher 3 or
Yeah,
Jack Ryan. I mean,
Jack. Oh yeah, but
season
they
3.
announced that it's gonna be the last.
No, they announced, but there's still nothing. I mean,
Oh,
nothing to
they
show for
haven't
it.
produced yet. Yeah. Sure, but cool.
Yeah.
All right. That is our show. Thank you very much for watching till the end. Hope you join us. Join us in our socials, interact with us, chat with us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram with the handle at +63HP. We are on video on demand, youtube.com/+63HP. Hop on, watch us. And if you don't want to see the faces, just you can subscribe to our podcast feeds as well. Just go to Apple, Spotify, Pandora, all of the major podcasting apps. Search +63HP, and hopefully you can like, subscribe, leave us a review, help us with the algorithms so that we can continue to share content to like-minded individuals who like cool stuff to watch with their friends and their family. In the next few weeks, we'll have a bunch of really cool shows. Really looking forward to doing like the first third. So the part like a 1/3 of the season of She-Hulk. We'll do that in a couple of weeks. We are also discussing Strange New Worlds, very very cool rendition of Star Trek.
Forgot to put Star Trek.
Season 1. And me and our homie, like we're really really close friends with our friend Brad. So he posted a new movie, Bullet Train. We'll watch that too, and have our reactions there. So with that, thank you very much, and we hope we see you in the next episode.